Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Artifacts encapsulated in time for millennia were finally discovered by archaeologists who were there to unravel the marvels of human creation. But the most amazing part is, some of those items were discovered by complete accident. In this video, we have 10 amazing artifacts that were accidentally unearthed. Number 1 will literally give you goosebumps, so watch out for that. Number 10. The Xi'an Terra Cotta Army. The Xi'an Terra Cotta Army is known as one of the most influential accidental discoveries of all time. In March of 1974, a group of peasants digging a well in the drought-parched Shaanxi province in northwest China unearthed fragments of a clay figure, the first evidence of what would turn out to be one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of modern times. Not sure what laid beneath the dirt, they called in a team of archaeologists who were stunned to discover 8,000 life-size terracotta soldiers under the earth. Over time, it was discovered that the Terra Cotta Army is a collection of terracotta sculptures depicting the armies of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. It is a form of funerary art buried with the emperor in 210 to 209 BCE to protect the emperor in his afterlife. The artifacts also included horses and chariots, and it was found that each sculpture was very detailed, with every soldier having different facial features. Such amazing sculpted art. Can you just imagine how long it must have taken to build the entire army, only to bury it afterward? Number 9. The Davaro Villa. Davaro Villa is an ancient palatial Roman villa loaded with ancient Roman artifacts that were discovered completely by accident. A man named Luke Irwin and his wife discovered the villa when they decided to convert an old barn on their property. Electricians discovered it when they were digging to lay electrical lines underground. Archaeologists were called to excavate the site, who unearthed the villa carefully, which was dated somewhere to 175 AD. The villa included pottery, oyster shells, brooches, coins, and a stone coffin of a young child. Number 8. The Edinburgh Vaults. The Edinburgh Vaults, or South Bridge Vaults, are a series of chambers formed in the 19 arches of the South Bridge in Edinburgh, Scotland, which was completed in 1788. For around 30 years, the vaults were used to house taverns, workshops for cobblers and other tradesmen, as well as storage space for said merchants. The vaults quickly became a place for black marketing activities, gambling, and other debauchery. The vaults were then closed and were forgotten about. That is until accidentally rediscovered in the 1980s by a rugby player and a bar owner named Nori Rowan. He was trying to help his Romanian colleague escape the Romanian secret police. He found a secret tunnel underneath his bar, and the tunnel surprisingly led to the Edinburgh Vaults. The area was then excavated and the vaults were restored. The vaults and all their artifacts have since become a tourist destination. Number 7. The Venus de Milo. The Venus de Milo is an ancient Greek statue and one of the most famous works of ancient Greek sculpture popular all around the world. Created sometime between 130 and 100 BC, the statue is believed to depict Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. However, why it has its arms missing has always been a mystery. Maybe it was damaged while discovered, but many people say that it was built that way. Venus de Milo was discovered on the 8th of April in 1820 by a peasant named Yorgos Kantroutas while he was digging for marbles. This peasant then sold it to a French naval officer, from whom it was purchased by the French ambassador and gifted to King Louis XVIII. It is currently on permanent display at the Louvre Museum in Paris. The statue is named after Aphrodite's Roman name, Venus, and the Greek island of Milos, where it was discovered. Such a beautiful and ancient statue, isn't it? Number 6. The Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls are an extremely famous artifact that contains some of the earliest pieces of the Bible that have ever been discovered. They are ancient manuscripts that were discovered between 1947 and 1956 in 11 caves near Khirbet Qumran on the northwestern shores of the Dead Sea, but their discovery was a complete accident. They were discovered by a group of teenagers who were tending their herd of goats close to the city of Jericho. Apparently, they lost one of their goats, and when they went to find it, one of the boys threw a rock in a nearby cave. The rock sounded like it broke a clay pot, which surprised the boys because they didn't expect a clay pot in the cave. They went inside the cave where they found a few jars that had a collection of ancient scrolls. They did not know what the scrolls were, so they sold them to an antiquity dealer in Bethlehem for a mere $50. Eventually, scholars confirmed both the date and the importance of the manuscripts. They were found to be approximately 2,000 years old dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE. Most of the scrolls were written in Hebrew, with a smaller number in Aramaic or Greek. Scholars have managed to reconstruct from these fragments approximately 950 different manuscripts of various lengths. More pieces were then discovered from the caves and sold for millions of dollars, and all the pieces now comprise what is known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. This accidentally found artifact is also said to be one of the most significant discoveries of the 20th century. Number 5. Herculaneum. Mount Vesuvius wreaked havoc when it erupted in 79 AD and completely destroyed the famous city of Pompeii, but unknown to most, it also decimated another less-known city called Herculaneum. Herculaneum was an ancient town located in the modern-day Ercolano, Campania, Italy. Herculaneum was completely carbonated and left well-preserved, but unlike Pompeii, the city was completely forgotten about until it was rediscovered accidentally in 1709. In 1709, a farmer was digging a well when he came across a very unique stonework, which he later realized was a magnificent Roman theater that had been an epicenter of the city. Amazingly enough, both the city and the theater had been sitting undisturbed for around 1,000 years until they got accidentally rediscovered. In the first years after its rediscovery, tunnels were dug at the site by treasure hunters, and many artifacts were removed without authorization. Regular excavations began in 1738 and have continued ever since, albeit intermittently. Today, only part of the ancient site has been excavated, and attention and funds have shifted to the preservation of the already excavated parts of the city, rather than focusing on uncovering more areas. Number 4. The Derinkuyu Underground City. The Derinkuyu was an ancient underground city that was hand-carved out of volcanic ash in the Cappadocia area in Turkey. It is one of the most elaborate cities of its kind and spans about 18 stories, extending to a depth of approximately 60 meters or 200 feet. It's large enough to have sheltered as many as 20,000 people together with their livestock and food stores. It's the largest excavated underground city in Turkey and is one of several underground complexes found throughout Cappadocia. Amazingly enough, though, the city wasn't discovered until 1963, and its discovery was a complete accident. The city was discovered by a man when he knocked down a wall in his house during a home renovation. The knocked-down wall led to a passageway, which further led to a network of stone tunnels and chambers. Experts were brought in, and the entirety of the city was discovered. No one exactly knows who built the city or when exactly it was built, but the extensiveness of the city with meeting halls, shops, freshwater stables, and heavy stone doors is extremely amazing, due to which it has become a must-visit tourist attraction. Number 3. The Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone has perplexed many linguists, historians, and archaeologists from around the world for hundreds of years. It's a large slab of basalt dated around the 2nd century BC, and while it's still being studied today, its initial discovery was actually accidental. The Rosetta Stone was discovered in 1799 during Napoleon's Egyptian campaign when he set out to collect Egyptian artifacts so that he could learn more about the ancient people, but the Rosetta Stone wanted it the other way, and by all its mysterious carvings, no one could decipher for a very long time. The Rosetta Stone was found when a group of soldiers knocked down a wall of a building in the town of Rosetta. The writing on the stone baffled Napoleon's scientists, as it was unlike anything they'd ever seen before. It took them 20 years to decipher the complex Egyptian hieroglyphics, but the Rosetta Stone became an invaluable artifact because it showed an ancient language that had been lost for 1,000 years. The stone was later used to decipher, study, and begin to understand ancient Egyptian literature and language. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online, you want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. This looks like a real picture of some artifact being discovered, but we're not sure what it really is because we couldn't find anything related to it on the internet. It looks like some missile buried by humans, or it could be some ancient artifact hidden away centuries ago. Does any one of you want to guess what it is? Let us know in the comments. Number 1. The Uluburun Shipwreck. The Uluburun Shipwreck is not just an artifact that was discovered by accident, it was an entire ship. When a sponge diver was looking for a sponge in the Mediterranean Sea, just off the Uluburun coast in Turkey in 1982, he was startled when he came across a sunken ship. The ship, which was 50 feet long, was an ancient one full of amazing artifacts. The ship was loaded with so many artifacts that it took 20,000 dives to haul up all the goods. The artifacts included elephant tusks, animal teeth, jewelry, copper, and scarab that was inscribed with the Egyptian queen Nefertiti's name. The ship is about 3,300 years old, making it one of the oldest shipwrecks ever discovered. The sheer volume of this accidental discovery has earned the Ulubaran shipwreck the top spot in this list. Which one of these artifacts did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.